In the morning, you're going to have a little bit of that snowfall mixed with patchy fog. So if you're up in the high country, please be aware of that danger. They are not going to have a traditional host. This has happened before back in 1989. It didn't go over that great. So you guys, I did tell them I would be available to step in and host if they needed me to, but that I would just need to be back for 12 News at 10. They have to go into space, fight these interesting alien characters. We're hanging out in the mid-60s. When we do dry out by the weekend, it's still going to be pretty cool. We're going to kick things off tonight with the man behind the bench who turned the team into a playoff contender in just 2 seasons at the helm. This is when that potential for lightning, damaging winds, brief heavy downpours is going to come through. Breaking in the 10 News Live Center, police need your help finding this man. He's accused of trying to sexually assault a woman at Knife Point in North Park. Police are searching for him and they have a press conference going on right now. Let's go ahead and listen in. Pushing these cars right in to the trailers. Now that I've taken in the view, it's time to test out my new driver. All right. I give all credit to the club. And I'm Kristen Keogh. The Cards go toe-to-toe with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but come up short 23-17. What did you think of this one? The difference between these two pressure areas is generating very strong offshore winds. Please don't make me watch it anymore. Let's talk about Larry. He always cheers us up, right? He does some really awesome things in the community. And just a few years ago, he started holding a women's football clinic. Of course, the ladies love it. About 350 women attended the event this year, including our own Kirsten Susel. How is this for an off-season acquisition? The cutest little girl. I'm Kristen Keogh with breaking news in the 10 News Live Center. A police chase that started in the Los Angeles area is now in San Diego in the Oceanside area. Okay, I promise I will not wear these, but disclaimer, I don't own cleats. Not in my closet. Derek joins me now. Derek, was that something you dreamed of your whole life? You can feel it. The heat wave is here. That high pressure that we've been saying is coming up from the south. If you haven't put up your Christmas decorations yet, like we have, Monday through Wednesday would be the perfect time to do it. Just a lot of frustration tonight. Everyone looking for someone to blame, of course. One bright spot today that everybody's talking about, David Johnson. Luke Lipinski had this to say. No, he did not. He started out underneath the steps to the pier, and then he made his way along the seawall. Right now, the D-backs and the Red Sox are tied 1-1. Next time you're on the course, if you happen to see someone with a ball like this, with an X on it, that's how you know that they went to the PXG experience, because they give you this X-branded gear.
Also, your swing was a lot better.
It was a lot better. I'm going to take this sample ballot and hold it up to this glass so you can watch the bleed through for yourself. You're going to still be able to see the moon tonight. You'll see some of those high clouds out there, but if anything, in my opinion, I think it enhances the spookiness just enough to really give you that kind of creepy full moon feel. As you take a look at satellite radar, yes, you can see those clouds in our area, and to the southeast, a lot of monsoon moisture, but nothing that should creep into our area tonight. However, we will be looking for stronger storm potential tomorrow and then into Sunday morning. So take a look at your weather fast facts. We do have triple-digit heat tomorrow before we go back to the 90s. That storm activity picks up tomorrow afternoon, and it will be cooler next week for a handful of days. Take a look at your 12 News exclusive monsoon meter here with me. We got a 6 in Tucson, the Valley, and up to northern Arizona. Keep that in mind if you have outdoor plans tomorrow, maybe if you're headed to the high country, particularly if you're headed over to the White Mountains, where we have a 7 on your monsoon meter. We're going to see a lot of storm activity picking up there. Take a look here on Future View. You can see at 4:30 p.m. we're looking at a lot of storm activity southeast of the valley and then between Phoenix and Flagstaff and then over to the White Mountains as well. And then by tomorrow evening, we're going to be looking at some pretty substantial activity here trying to make its way into the valley on Sunday. Still looking at some storm activity lingering into the second half of the weekend. Tonight, 85 for Phoenix and 49 for Flagstaff. Tomorrow, 79 for Flagstaff. We'll see 104 in Phoenix Phoenix. Check out this 7-day forecast. We will see highs in the 90s Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with some lows in the 70s too.
So if you've been waiting to wear one of your favorite cute coats, this is going to be the weekend for sure, because the storm that hit us so hard over the past 24 hours is exiting, but it brought cold air with it. Let's take a look at 10 News Pinpoint Doppler Live. We do have some showers right now along the 8, right along where it meets Highway 79, and then over in Mount Laguna as well. And we're only going to see showers tonight in the mountains. Elsewhere, we are done, and we could pick up some trace amounts of snow in Mount Laguna and Palomar Mountain as well. Rainfall total so far, almost 6 inches up in Palomar Mountain. Really incredible numbers here. Escondido, almost 2 inches. San Diego, more than 1.25 inches. So very impressive. Right now, we are looking at 53 degrees in Kearney Mesa, 56 in San Diego. Tomorrow, our high temperatures are going to look a lot like that, with our temperatures 5 to 15 degrees below average. We do still have windy conditions with up to 35-mile-per-hour gusts possible at the coast tonight, but it will be sunny for the weekend. Just very cool. And as we take a look at satellite radar, you can see there's not any more shower activity headed our way, and what is left is pushing to the east. So we're going to be nice and dry tomorrow. Futurecast shows we will still be seeing a little bit of shower activity, possibly over in Poway and Ramona, but I think that this is overestimating that. I would not plan on seeing showers if you do not live in the mountains, but if you are in the mountains, a little more rain for you, and again, possibly that snow as well. And then by 6 a.m. tomorrow, as you're getting up to start your Saturday, we are going to be all clear with lots of sunshine. Tonight we'll cool down to 42 in Poway, San Diego 49, Chula Vista 44 for you. Tomorrow, look at these numbers: 57 for Poway and El Cajon, very chilly. 59 for Imperial Beach and Santee, 57. Downtown San Diego, I am calling it 59 for you, and then 63 by Sunday. We're going to heat up in the beginning of the week. We're going to see 65 Monday and 68 on Tuesday, and then work our way up into the upper 60s for the second half of the week. Inland tomorrow, 57. We will make it back to 70 degrees by Thursday, but those overnight lows in the 40s will be chilly. Mountains 41, desert 61. What are you two laughing about over here?
Close too.
We're actually sitting here discussing how sweet you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's honestly what was going on.
well, that made my day.
As you were over there.
Very
chatting.
much so. Sweet girl.
Justin Pugh is starting to get a bit of a reputation, and it's not for what he's doing on the field, but for what he's saying in the locker room. We heard the Cardinals guard get emotional about mental health a few weeks ago. Then Wednesday, he spoke boldly on the lack of understanding he thinks both the media and you at home have about offensive line play. We found out why he's just so fired up in tonight's Big Red Rage.
Every time the media leaves the locker room, I always say to the guys, man, I got to stop talking.
Justin Pugh always has something to say. Wednesday, he went on the defense about the offense.
I read things online, and I'm like, what qualifies? And anyone here, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone in here know a lot about offensive line play? Like, could you sit in an offensive line room and have a legitimate conversation with me about offensive line play?
I think I could. I coached it for 20 years.
So we have one.
Played and coached.
One, right? Yeah, so we have one person out of everybody. So now magnify that by America.
Pugh says it's easy to pin the blame on the O-line, and indicated critics could use a course on offensive schemes.
No one knows what they're really watching when they're watching offensive line play. If I turned on, like we're watching the Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles tonight at the restaurant, I don't know the schemes that they're running, so I really couldn't tell you who's responsible for what person. And people try to make assumptions, and then when you make assumptions, you don't look very good.
Prior to this surprise Pugh pulled on the media, he tried to tackle another topic.
You guys don't want to talk about what's next for NFL players. You just want to talk about what's coming up with the opponent.
That is it.
No one's worried about the mental health of our guys. We got Rob Gronkowski crying on ESPN. I mean, you guys don't want to talk about that.
There's a good reason Pugh does want to talk about it.
My second year in the NFL, I thought I made it. I was a first-round pick, started every game, all rookie team, and I went out there and let up like 4 sacks in a game against the Eagles, a divisional game, primetime television, and everyone's telling me how awful I am. I'm the worst player. I can't make it, and I started to believe them.
What would you like to see done to make sure guys are okay?
Talking about it is the easiest way to change it, and it's not just football players. It's dads talking with sons, moms talking with their daughters. That there's no stigma against talking about it. And the more that we talk about it and speak about it, the easier it is. And guys can come up to me and say, hey, look, I'm not feeling quite right. Like, I just feel a little anxious, or I'm, there's a lot of pressure with playing in the NFL, and I just want to look out for those guys and be there for those younger players.
He knows haters will tell him to stick to football, but Pugh has no plans to become silent.
When I get rolling on something that I feel passionate about and I feel like I can help and be a positive influence, I'm talking about it 10 times out of 10.
The Yavapai County Sheriff's Office tells me that 15 rescues took place during the flash flood, and at least 6 of them happened here at this trailer park off Highway 69 and Copper Road, with Big Bug Creek overflowing just on the other side of Highway 69 and running through it, pushing these cars right into the trailers. I talked to the residents, some of which own these vehicles. They say between the Goodwin fire and now this flooding, it's becoming too much.
My entire trailer got wiped out from underneath. There's no skirting.
This is video residents gave us from the community laundry room.
I'm concerned about another fire happening or flooding. I mean, we're right in the middle of monsoon season and this happened. Like, we've still got more storms to keep going.
Down Highway 69 near Cordis Lake, Sandy and Bill Kingsley say they've never seen flooding like this in their 12 years living here.
I grabbed our medicine and my purse and the dog, and we left.
Weather watcher Dave Carter took this video of a chopper flying over the rushing water looking for anyone in need of help. He also caught the rain coming down that led to this. That water running through the Goodwin fire burn scar made for a nasty and dangerous mix. Dee Dunbar said she heard the water coming before she saw it.
When it hit right there crossing the road, it was probably 5 foot high.
The sheriff's office also told me that out of all those rescues, no one was hurt and everyone survived. In Mayor, Kristen Keogh, 12 News Today.
If the weed killer is sprayed, the woman you're about to meet is going to have to stay in her house with the door shut. If you're wondering why she can't just go to a hotel or somewhere else for a few days, that's because here at her home she has special ventilation that allows her to breathe safely.
This is almost like feeling like going to the execution. They gave me very little notice.
At the end of September, Judy Kane learned a chemical will be sprayed Monday that could threaten her life.
I have something called MCS, which is for multiple chemical sensitivities.
For the past 9 years, Judy tells us North County Transit District didn't spray as part of reasonable accommodation under the American Disabilities Act. These emails show the agreement made with NCTD in 2007.
It's very scary to me after them resuming this after almost 10 years.
In this email sent in September, a civil rights officer with NCTD told Judy the avoidance of spraying herbicides does not fall under reasonable accommodation because the right-of-way getting sprayed is not accessible to the public. Judy argues this isn't about the exact spot that gets sprayed, it's about the chemical spreading. I called 3 NCTD contacts Friday at about 3:30 p.m. and left messages. No one has called me back. I got my hands on their stormwater management plan. It explains that spraying herbicides in places like behind Judy's home is part of maintenance to reduce pollutants in stormwater.
They have been just weed whacking it, but now they're saying it's too expensive, it's too time consuming.
On the same page, the plan also says NCTD shall evaluate and implement practices that reduce the discharge of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers, mainly in right-of-ways. Judy hopes they'll work on those practices, starting with the right-of-way behind her home.
Their loss on one end is so small compared to my loss on the other end.
With the clock ticking toward Monday, Judy is now relying on compassion to keep her safe. In Oceanside, I'm Kristen Keogh, 10 News.
We're already halfway through January.
Halfway through, it's blowing by fast.
It really is. Let's get started with weather where you live. It could have also torn apart their family had a son not rushed into those flames to rescue his mom who was inside. 10 News reporter Hannah Mullins has more on how he did it even when the fire extinguisher wouldn't work. Charlie's sister and her dog were also in the home, but they made it out. He thinks the fire may have been electrical because there were a lot of cords plugged in. Police are looking for a driver who hit a little girl and then took off. They could use your help. The police tell us that the girl was crossing Thorn Street in City Heights this weekend when an SUV slammed into her. She now has a broken leg, but she's expected to be okay. The driver could face felony hit and run charges if caught. Happening now, millions of Americans are in a deep freeze. Look at this. It looks miserable. It's the kind of weather that makes you want to never leave San Diego. Ice storms are sending traffic into tailspins, and ABC's Ariel Reshef has a look at those treacherous conditions. New this morning, the LA County Sheriff's Department is getting a new pair of eyes to help them out with dangerous situations. This could save lives. It is $10,000 though. It's a drone system that will be used for observation during tactical operations like search and rescue, disaster response, and standoffs with armed people. An investigation is underway after one Marine was killed and another was hurt in a training exercise in 29 Palms. In a statement, the Marines say they were doing live fire training aboard the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center Friday. The Marines' names have not been released. His mother spoke exclusively with 10 News anchor Itika Milanes about what went wrong after a year of fighting to live. Oh, I'm sure that's a rescue that those crew members are going to remember.
That's true.
Well, you'll be able to enjoy some of San Diego's amazing restaurants at unbeatable prices. San Diego Restaurant Week kicks off today. Nearly 200 restaurants will offer 2-course lunch menus and 3-course dinner menus. It's an effort to get more San Diegans to eat out and try the hundreds of different restaurants our city has to offer. There's a big battle in La Jolla over the sea lions. So we showed you this video of people getting really close to the animals just north of the children's pool. The sea lions, they're not happy about it, but as 10 News anchor Ann State discovered, some think the sea lions are the ones who need to go.